Welcome to Abundant Baby! Yay! If you're a gentle mama who wants to do the best for their gorgeous baby, but you are starting to feel so tired and maybe even hopeless, because I know I felt the exact same when my firstborn was around the 8 or 9 month mark. I just felt like I would never sleep again. There are amazing, gentle ways to get your baby sleeping. It's actually a life skill that they need to learn to fall asleep independently. And it doesn't need to be some like military style training. So I'm basically here to tell you that you can get your sleep back, and it will be good for your baby. You know, they need sleep, and it will be good for you, and it'll be done in a gentle way. So there are loads and loads of ways to learn this. You can go to abundantbaby.com and actually get the full extended baby sleep course, which is incredible and will take you all the way from newborn to 5 years. You'll have it for life. You can also get a free book. You can also get free sleep schedules. You know, there is so much going on abundantbaby.com. And here we can get a free video on dream feeding, which is like a lifesaver. It basically will help your sleep so much. I'm just going to jump straight into it right now. What is dream feeding? Because there's no point in me saying how amazing it is if you don't really get what it is. Because I know I didn't really know what dream feeding could be. So basically, the most simple way to say it is you're feeding your baby while they're dreaming. And a more complex way of saying it is that you're putting your baby down for their sleep, for their nighttime sleep. You get on with your evening as you always would, but when you go up to bed, instead of walking into this quiet room where your baby's already asleep and going to sleep yourself, before you go to sleep, you're actually going to feed your sleeping baby and then go to sleep yourself. Now this is going to feel like, what? I don't want to wake my baby. No way am I doing that. But the method behind this is the idea of aligning you and your baby to the same schedule. So if you put your baby down to sleep at, say, 6 and you're going to bed at 9, well, there's every chance they're going to wake up in an hour or two. And technically, they will have slept for, say, 4 or 5 hours, and well done them, that's really good. But unfortunately, that didn't benefit you because you weren't asleep. So if you feed your baby as you go to sleep, it's like you're resetting everything, and you're giving them a chance to then again sleep another 5 or 6 hours, and this time you're going to benefit from that. So let's actually go into detail on how you're going to dream feed, like down to really obvious things, just so you know exactly what to do. In order to dream feed without disturbing your baby too much, the best thing to do is to get ready outside your room. So just get ready for bed like you normally would, but make sure that's not in the bedroom, because your baby's sleeping, you don't want to disturb them. You want to go in to the room. I used to go in by myself. It just felt easier than us both, like me and my husband, both walking in, and you just don't want to cause any kind of disturbance. You don't want any noise. You want it really, really peaceful. It's nighttime. There shouldn't be anything going on apart from sleep. And dream feeding is supposed to be that. It's supposed to be an extension of sleep. You don't talk to your baby while you do it. So go into the darkened room of your bedroom. You may need to put your little squeezy nightlight on. That's a nightlight. Squeezy. I've got like a little mushroom one that's soft, and it's really, really good. So pop that nightlight on, and it should be very dimmed lighting. It should just be just enough for you to see what you're doing. And then you are in your bed, and you're just rolling over to get your baby like you normally would if they've woken up in the night and you need to feed them, but they've not woken up. So that's the really nice thing about this, is it's so peaceful. Pick up your baby, it's going to seem strange because they're asleep, and why would you even disturb your baby? But honestly, it works. So don't be so kind of worried about waking up your baby that you end up in a really uncomfortable position. You're feeding your baby now, so commit to it and just really make sure you're comfortable, and obviously they're comfortable, because you'll get a far better feed. It's going to feel just so much better to know that everyone's comfortable and it's going really well. once you're ready to feed, if your baby is literally just so deeply asleep, then you might need to give a little stroke near their mouth, or like with your nipple, nipple, or your like the teat of the bottle, just gently around their mouth. It's just to make the reflex so that they're actually going to open their mouth. Like while we want them asleep, they need to be roused enough to actually be able to feed, because otherwise it's pointless. So this is easier than you think. They're pretty much ready to feed. My baby always was. Both my daughters were. After that, my instinct was just, right, that's it, I've done it. Time for my baby to go back to sleep. But no, because your baby can't go to sleep if you don't burp. So while you would think you'd ruin everything by then actually sitting your baby up to burp them, you're just going to have to do it, because they will definitely wake up if they've gone down in their cot without being burped. They'll be so uncomfortable. They need to be burped. Don't think you're disturbing your babies. If it's going to work, it's going to work. As long as you're not constantly talking or put a really bright light on, it's going really well. So burp them and pop them back in their cot. And again, no talking should have happened at this point. You don't even need to say your nighttime words, which is from the Ideal Wind Down Routine, which you'll find on abundantbaby.com. Yeah, you don't need to say your ideal sleepy time words. You don't want to say anything. Your baby's back to sleep and that's great. And then you just go to sleep. If that suits your baby, because for some babies it just doesn't, and it will wake them up no matter what. And for most babies it does. If it does, then that's all you need to do, and you literally go to sleep. If it's not 6 hours, it should be 3, it should be 4. It's not going to just be 1 hour. And that's what we're trying to avoid, is the fact that your baby's already been asleep, already not had milk, and then you're getting into your bed thinking, oh, I'm going to go to sleep now. But why would you? Of course they're going to wake up to want their feed. So you're kind of skipping that process and going, well, I'm just going to, it's like you're preempting it. I'm going to feed them anyway before they've even asked. And it might make me feel really happy, because with me, it made me feel like, oh, my little baby's all snuggled up, and they don't need to wake up out of their lovely snuggly time to ask mama for milk. They don't need to feel that not very nice feeling of being hungry. I've topped them up, and I just think that's so lovely. And then you're completely aligned, and you're both ready for a longer stretch of sleep. So let's answer a few questions. When is a good time to do it? And there is a few rules on when to stop. After a certain amount of time, your baby does not need that dream feed. So for example, when we talk about how to sleep all the way through the night from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m., one of the things we have to do is get rid of the dream feed. Now don't be put off, you need that dream feed in the early stages when your baby was never going to sleep through the night anyway. So that's kind of how you get a mini night. The dream feed is the way to get a half night's sleep. And then when they get to 10 or 11 months old and they're physically able to sleep through the night and happy to sleep through the night, then the dream feed, you actually get rid of that in order to get your full night's sleep. So that's how it works. So it's such an important part of the early months. You're not going to do it at the newborn stage, because you're basically feeding your baby all the time anyway. It's a great method, and I hope it's just been a nice short video on exactly what to do. If we keep it as simple as possible, you'll feel that you can just go and do that and get you and your baby completely aligned, so that you have got the most chance at getting the most sleep possible, because that's what you need at this stage. In the first 3 months, look, you might not get that much sleep, and that's why everyone says, oh, sleep during the day, because your baby sleeps during the day. But then after that point, we can implement really gentle, wonderful, natural ways. It's not about forcing your baby into anything. It's making sure that your life, your family is actually being set up for this sleep, rather than going the opposite and thinking that we're set up for not getting loads of sleep, and we kind of adapt to that. That doesn't need to happen. We can lay the foundation down in the newborn phase for excellent sleep. We can introduce things like dream feeding to ensure the longest amount of sleep that you both get together. And we can just make everything easier with sleep. We can really understand it and it not feel so overwhelming, because wow, it feels so overwhelming. And sometimes it doesn't even help the fact that there's all these amazing sleep blog posts and videos. Sometimes that doesn't help. You kind of need one thing, one person to focus on, so that everything becomes more simple. Because when you're taking advice from everywhere, that's when it starts to feel so overwhelming. And when you're really tired anyway, it's just I kind of just went, oh, I just can't even think about it. And it took me to having no sleep at all, waking up every 20 to 40 minutes, to realize that I had to decide on something and I had to work out a way to get my baby to sleep. And you can too. Let's start with dream feeding, and then let's just do everything. I have an amazing video for 3 to 9 months. This will suit you if you're thinking about dream feeding. It's the same age bracket. So have a look at the 3 to 9 month baby video, and that's generally talking about actually, how do we get great naps? How do we always get great bedtime sleep? Because ultimately we can make this easy for you and you can get all the sleep that you need and that your baby needs. So I hope you enjoyed this dream feeding video. Give it a like, give it a little subscribe to me. I'll be very happy. And definitely go to abundantbaby.com to get some sleep schedules as well, because that can be really helpful. And of course, my baby sleep video. Thank you, and I will see you soon.